Hello everyone, we are back live today, Sunday. I am here with
Hi,
Bianca. Look at her smile, it's so cute.
Thank you.
But today won't be about smiles, it will be about how to write code, how to create a Minesweeper game, how to create an AI which will solve the Minesweeper game.
Not Minesweeper, Tic Tac Toe.
Tic Tac Toe. Sorry, I'm so sorry. My mind got blocked on last week's topic. If you haven't watched that video about how to create a Minesweeper, go right now and watch. Oh, actually, don't go right now. Go after we end this video and watch how I created a Minesweeper game. How you can create a Minesweeper game in C++. You don't need a lot of knowledge. You just have to understand some basic computer science notions. If you don't know who we are, I'm Petru and
I'm Bianca.
And she's Bianca, and we are the founders of WellCode. We have a platform from where you can learn how to write code. You can learn computer science from scratch. You don't need to have any kind of prior knowledge. You just need to go on wellcode.com and you can start learning from there. Also, don't forget to like this video, to hit the thumbs up button. This way you'll help us reach more people, and by doing this you'll help us create better content. And also, if you think that this video is useful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, hopefully.
No, not hopefully. It's guaranteed that we have good stuff coming up.
Yeah, we're filming a video today, and we're
filming 2 videos today.
2 videos. Yeah, we're finishing one from yesterday actually.
Okay. Yeah, we finished the one from yesterday. We have so much great content coming up. While Bianca is sharing this video on all the groups.
I did.
Oh, did you already? Okay, so please also share this video on Facebook if you have friends who are interested in programming. We're gonna start soon. I'm gonna just wait a bit more so that more people are joining the live stream, because otherwise they won't understand what I'm doing. So don't forget to share this video on Facebook, tell your friends about it, join our live party, and let's start learning how to write good code. I'm gonna create an AI which will solve tic-tac-toe. Basically, you'll play against a computer opponent. I was always curious when I was young and I was playing video games about how can the AI play so good. I remember playing strategy games. I was building an army, and before being ready with the army and before sending it to crush the opponent will come and crush me. And it looked like he was playing in the same way as a human did. And yeah, it looked the same way as a human was playing, and I was always amazed about the quality of the AI. So let's start right now. I'll show you how to build an AI for a very simple game, the game of tic-tac-toe. If you don't know what tic-tac-toe is, I'm gonna show it to you right now. Tic-tac-toe. Basically, you play with an X or a 0, and you have an opponent and you wanna beat him. And this was a draw. You win by putting 3 zeros or 3 X's in the same row, the same column, or the same diagonal. I remember when I first discovered this strategy while being in middle school. I think I was so proud of myself that I was able to beat everyone at this game, because
you knew the
yeah, I knew the strategy. But I always hated doing strategies when I was solving problems for Olympiads. I always hated just hard coding some strategy inside the code. I always hated it. I always like to have some sort of algorithm which is able to find the strategy on his own. It wasn't required for me to code the strategy into the algorithm. And this is what we're gonna do today. I won't hard code the strategy. I won't tell, okay, now if you are playing with X, put the first one in the middle, then put the other one in one corner. I'll just say that you'll see what I'm gonna do. I basically create a smart tic-tac-toe game. So stay tuned. We already have 39 people watching. Okay, are we ready to start, Bianca? What do you think? 40 people.
Patrick said that asked if we will use Minimax algorithm.
You're gonna see if I'm gonna use Minimax algorithm. I hate using complicated words for simple things. Basically, Minimax algorithm is a very intuitive thing. You don't need to call it Minimax. You just.
But Minimax is intuitive.
It's a straightforward, and I hate using. Okay, I'm just gonna use this algorithm. Everyone needs to know it. I'm just gonna explain it in my own words how the algorithm will work. But first of all, I think it's a Minimax. If you don't want to watch till the end, don't waste your time. If
you know it's a Minimax, you don't think it's a Minimax.
Yeah, I know it. It's some sort of implementation of Minimax. But that being said, first of all, I need to build a game. I need to build a game between two players who are able to play, and the game needs to output if anyone has won. So let's start doing that. No, I won't use neural networks. It's an overkill. It's like shooting with an atomic bomb to kill a rat in your dorm room if you're living in a dorm. And another very important disclaimer: if you are watching this video and you learn how to create powerful AI, please don't create cyborgs, please. So I don't want any cyborgs coming up and taking over the world. If you're watching this video, I like the world order as it is right now. So please don't create any word domination cyborgs. Don't develop any word domination tactics. And also, more important than that, please don't write code as a moron. If you wanna dominate the world, if you wanna create cyborgs, please at least write good code for them. It will be very embarrassing for you if you'll have an army of cyborgs and then they'll encounter a bug and they just freeze and you'll get arrested and be thrown out in jail. So at least write good code if you want to create cyborgs. Don't write dirty code. Don't be a moron. Just write the best code possible, and I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So let's get started, and also don't forget to create not to create cyborgs. Create a new Xcode project.
Are you gonna share the screen?
Yeah, it's shared. Command line tool. Tic-tac-toe. I will need some water. No water for me.
Do you know if there's water here though?
Yeah, and by the way, I forgot to tell you about this. We are very grateful to our friends at Silicon Forest. They offer us the space for doing this live video and the awesome internet connection. My internet connection back home is very bad. So if you are in Cluj, Silicon Forest Cluj, if you are in Cluj and you need a co-working space, this is the address. It's very central. The place is very nice. So I highly recommend coming here for working. All right, let's start. STD, let's forget about those arguments for main. And first of all, let's create the board. I'm gonna use the string library. We're gonna launch soon a new module on WellCode, which will explain what this string library does. And by the way, if you don't understand anything, you can drop us a question. That's the reason why Bianca is here.
If you don't understand something, because hopefully you understand something.
Yeah, if you don't understand something, drop us a question. Bianca is here. She helps us. She helps me with answering the questions. And also we have a course on wellcode.com which will teach you the basics of programming. If you're a Romanian, we have a more advanced course on wellcode.ro. We'll soon translate that to English. And also, if you want us to create better content, go there and buy our course. This way, you are supporting us. You'll enable us to create better quality things. All right, so first of all, I need the board, which will hold the status of the game. I'm gonna index the board from 0 to 2. First of all, I'll have a function called start game, void start game, and this will 0 is smaller than 2 plus I for int j equals 0, j is smaller than 2 plus j, and I'll say board of I and j equals the dot character. And I think I also need to say board of I dot resize 2, actually 3, because each element of this array, of the board array, is an empty string. It doesn't contain any element, and if I'm doing board of 0 and 2, I'll get a segmentation fault error. So start game, and I also need to print board. Sorry, I don't know how to type anymore. Void print board, and this will be for I equals 0, I is smaller than 2 plus I, and for int j equals 0. I'm feeling like I'm doing an interview right now. I'm trying to code those things as fast as possible so I can get to the interesting part. And actually, I don't I don't actually need this second for because I can just print board of I and then use a new line here. I'm sorry for my voice.
Also, in the resize, you can do resize of 3 and the character. You don't need the second 4.
Oh, so I can pass the character here,
yep.
Dot. That's a cool trick. And always, this is a very important advice. You don't need to memorize all those functions. Whenever you want to use a function, you just go on Google and search C++ string resize. And boom, you have the documentation. Please don't be that robot who memorizes functions and all sorts of programming APIs, because we are already creating AI, and AI will be way better than you are at memorizing things. How many views? 58 viewers. Wow, that's so cool. Please don't forget to hit the like button. I'm so pumped up. I'm gonna create the best AI. I'm gonna also show you how to create cyborgs which will take over the world. And also here I need to print let's say 10 new lines. I equals 0, I is smaller than 10 plus I cout new line. This will be because we will print the board multiple times, and this thing doesn't look right. It only prints 2. Oh, because this should be smaller than 3, yeah. Not 2, sorry. All right, and now we have a board. And now we need to memorize the current position as we did in the Minesweeper game. I'm going to show you a new trick. I'm going to use a pair of 2 ints. This will be player position. And whenever we are starting the game, player position dot first equals player position dot second, and this will be 0.
Oh, apparently the console part doesn't show.
Oh, thanks. So I'm gonna move the. Oh, okay, now everything should be fine.
Mine is a bit laggy.
I think it will be fine. Currently, it's not that important to just to see the board, but you'll see it soon.
Okay. Yeah, they still don't see the board.
I wanna pay attention. Oh, actually, I know what I need to do. I'm just gonna move it right here. Sorry for that. We won't have any code around here, so everything should be fine now. And now we'll do while game running
See, they don't see that part where your output and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying now. Oh, yeah, I know why, because I'll fix this. I'm not gonna use full screen anymore, and you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing. Yes. So I'm gonna use a variable. No, actually this will be a function while game running, and while the game is running, sorry, a bool game running. I think a better naming for this will be is game running. So while is game running, here I'll check the board. So I'm gonna do for int I equals 0, I is smaller than 3 plus plus I. Here I'm gonna say return, sorry, no, if board of I and 0 equals no, actually it's not equal to dot, and I'm actually gonna define empty cell. This will be a dot, empty cell. Define first player X, define second player 0. So
have an empty cell there.
So this, if this is not an empty cell and board of I and 0 equals board of I and 1 and board, I'm gonna split this on multiple lines. I'm checking if the game is not finished. So I want to check if board of I and 0 is equal to the board of I and 1. Basically this will check will check each line. So if this is true, then I'm gonna return 0, so the game is not running anymore. And I'm gonna do the same thing for every column. This was for the lines, and the same thing needs to be done for every column. Basically I just need to swap the indexes. And now I'm gonna return 0. And the last case before returning 1 is to check for the diagonals. So I have two more if statements. If board of 0, 0 equals board of 1 and 1, and board of 0, 0 equals board of 2 and 2, and also I'm not on an empty cell, then the game is finished. And I also need to check the secondary diagonal. Basically when you have a matrix, this one is the main diagonal. I'm gonna draw so that you're seeing this. Aggie.io. So whenever you are using a matrix, a square matrix, this is the main diagonal. Actually this is the main diagonal, and the one I'm gonna draw in blue is the secondary diagonal. Okay, let's go back to coding. And now I'm just gonna do the same thing for the secondary diagonal, and this function will be ready, and we will just need to implement the the player controls. So this will be 2 and 0. This will be the first one, then the second one will be 1 and 1, and the last one will be sorry, here is 2 and 0, and the last one will be 0 and 2. So this is the function, and now we're gonna read commands from the player. So I'm gonna use a direction vector. I'm gonna use direction for the line, which will be 1 0 minus 1 0, and the column, which will be 0 1 0 and minus 1, and I'm gonna use this to map the commands, because player commands will be WASD. So I'm gonna define.
Can I interrupt you a bit?
Yeah.
I don't really understand what this game running is in.
This game running is doing is checking for a board, because we're gonna start placing X's and zeros on the board, and this game running will check if the board is completed, if the game will still needs to run, if the player still needs to make a move.
It doesn't really check if the board is completed, it checks if one of the...
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot, thanks. So I forgot to check if I have any empty cell. So if I don't have any empty cell...
Wait, you already have a lot of code there.
Yeah, so this function checks if the game is still running.
Yeah, but you can just check if everything is completed, right? If it's filled in, it's not empty cell. Why do you need to check everything? Each line and column and diagonal separately?
I don't understand the question.
Like, if you're just checking if every cell on the board is filled in, then why do you need to check each line?
Because this function will get refactored, and it will return the winner. It will return if the X or Y is a winner.
Okay.
And so this will also know if the game is a draw or not. So you'll see that in the future. You need to be a bit patient. So for 0, I smaller than 2 plus I.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, it's 3. J is smaller than 3 plus J. So if board of I and J equals empty cell, then has empty cell will be 1. So here I'm gonna return has empty cell instead of 0 and 1. All right, now the function is correct. And now I want to check if I need to read a command each time. Char command. I'm gonna read the command, and right now I'm gonna I want to see if string commands equals WASD, and if commands dot find of command. So if this character input, which was input by the user, it can be found in this string, so it's different than string.endPos. This is how you check if a character exists inside a string. Then I'm gonna apply the movement. So first of all, I need to create an index. Index, a direction index, which will be an array. This will map those characters, will map W for for the third position, because the third position in those two vectors represents the up direction. So basically what I'll say is direction index of W equals to direction index of A equals 3. This is a direction for going left. The column decreases by 1 and the line stays the same. Direction index of D equals 1 and direction index of WA, sorry, here I should have write S. This is 0 and this will be 1, AS and D. So those are the indexes. So what I need to do right now is create a pair in next pos, which will be equal to player pos. I'm not consistent with variable names. This should be using underscores. So player pos has to be named like this. Okay. Now the naming is correct. So right now I'm gonna say next pos dot first plus equals the line of direction index of command, and the same thing goes for second. But here will be the call. And before continuing, I want to know if is inside of next pos, because if I'm on the last line or the last column and I wanna go forward, if I'm on the first line and first column and I want to go back, I don't want to end up outside the matrix. So if it's not inside, then I want to continue. So I need another function, bool is inside.
You should use the same naming convention as.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is inside pair int position, and I'm gonna return position dot first is greater or equal than 0 and position dot. Actually, I saw an article on Hacker News saying that you always need to use this operator, and position dot first, it makes things clearer because it looks like an interval, and 0 is smaller or equal than position dot second, and position dot second is smaller than 3. This means that if this is inside, it is inside next pos. I start loving Xcode. I love the auto-completion and the way you can work with parameters. Auto-completion. And now I need to modify this function print board, because I also want to print the position of the current player, and I also need to know which one is the current player. So I'm gonna have a char current player, and whenever I'm starting the game, current player will be equal to X. So right here I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna add another for loop, which will tell me I'm gonna check here if I need to print the board or if I need to print the character of the player. So if make pair, this creates a pair of I and j equals player pos, then I need to print current player. Otherwise, I need to print the board I and j, and at the end of this for I need to print a new line. So if you're not used to using pairs, this function make pair creates a pair out of these two numbers, because otherwise I would have needed to compare I with player position dot first, j with player position dot second, and I would end up with a way larger condition inside this if clause. So I'm just gonna finish the movement, and then I'm gonna take some questions and rest for a bit. So right here I'll say that the player pause equals next pause if we're not outside the board. And the build is succeeded. And now I want to input commands. Let's say I want to go down. Sorry. How do I input commands? It doesn't work. Oh, because I'm not calling the print board every time this while loop is executed. So I need to call print board. Let's try this again. So this is the board, and here's the place where I'm using input, and it doesn't want to go down, it doesn't want to go up, and to the right. I think I wrote the wrong condition here. Actually not, it looks good. Why doesn't X want to move?
Are you updating the player position on the game anywhere?
Here's the place I'm updating the player position.
Where are you using the player position?
I'm using the player position here. Player position.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna debug on my own.
Cool.
So let's find out the problem. I think this is the most educational part of the video. Me writing code with bugs, and you watching how I'm searching for the bugs. I think this is the most important part that the programmer needs to know, how to correct his code, because we are not perfect. We are humans. We make lots of mistakes. You can think about all sorts of mistakes. Just go on YouTube and search for fails, or for construction worker fails, and you'll see a lot of mistakes made by people, and everyone is making mistakes. So we just need to be careful and know how to find the mistakes. So first of all, I want to make sure that I'm reading the commands the right way. So I'm also going to output the command. This is a useful thing that you can do whenever you are trying to find mistakes. Just add some print statements and see what happens. So I'm trying to go left, and the command was read successfully. Yeah, and the board is not printed again. Actually, I'm gonna do here a different thing, because even if I'm doing a wrong command, a command that would have gone outside the board, I still want to print the board again. So I'm gonna say if it's inside the next position, then I'm gonna update the player position. Okay, let's try this again. So if I'm inputting an A, the board stays the same. If I'm outputting an S, and I get the command here S, X goes down, and the command is read again, gets read again, but it doesn't move. So the reading of the command is good. And now the next part where a mistake can happen is here, is the update of the next position, because I already looked at is inside as this function, and this function looks correct. By the way, if you are finding the mistake before me, you can drop a comment in it. You can drop a comment in the live video, and I'm gonna award you with 1 free week of subscription to our premium course on wellcode.com. So pay attention, and if you're finding the mistake before me, you're gonna get rewarded. Next pause dot first, and this puts more pressure on me. Next pause dot second. Okay, so let's see. So first of all, I used an A, and the next position was wrong. Let's go down. So next position was 1 and 0, and if I'm doing another down, next position is still 1 and 0. So this means that the direction index may be wrong. So I'm going to print also the direction index. And let's check again. So first of all, there's the direction index is 0 for S, and now for another S, it's still 0. This is weird. Probably I have some stupid mistake and I'm not able to see it, but it's very strange. So even if I'm outputting, even if I'm having the right index for the command, the next position doesn't get updated, which is very strange. The next position is always equal to player position. I think I'm gonna also output the player position. Player position dot first and player position dot second. Stop and run it again. So this is the board. So the first position was 0, 0, and then it's 1, 0, and then it's 0, 0. I suspected that. So apparently this returns false for 1 and 0. Is inside. So 0 and position dot first is smaller than 3. Position dot second is greater or equal than 0, and position second smaller. So if those conditions are true, this is very easy to check. So I just need to comment everything here and just output cout is inside of make pair 1 and 0. And if this prints a 1, then we are fine, and it prints 1. Actually, I don't understand why this code is wrong. You see, this is what happens when you're not getting enough sleep. So if you're watching this video, please get enough sleep, okay? All right, so let's see if I'm inside. Cout I am inside. I'm not gonna do a silly joke right now.
Why not?
Because I don't want to do that. Okay, and if I am inside, and for the next part, I'm still inside, and the player position gets updated, but then when I go back to this line, the player position does go back to the player position. This is weird. Oh yeah, because I always initialize player position dot first and dot second to 0. I wanted to write this thing in the start game function, but accidentally I wrote it in the print board. Has anyone found a bug?
No, I don't think so. Someone said why 3 and not 4, but I'm not sure. Jonathan said that, but I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Okay, so you should be very concerned that you didn't find this silly bug. You need to develop your focus way more than your current level. This is very concerning. This was a very silly mistake and a very easy to catch mistake. And now I can go on and play with this, and it works. And then else if command equals p from place, then if board of player pos dot first and player pos dot second equals empty cell, then board of this will be current player, and current player will be current player equals, no, I won't write dirty code, sorry. If current player equals x, then current player will be a 0, and else current player will be x. I wanted to write some dirty code here using the ternary operator. Thanks. I'm also getting free English lessons, but the code looks dirty using that thing. So, all right. So now now we are done with the basic part of this.
I think you could have used the function for updating the position of the player.
So now I placed the x, and now I can place a. I'm gonna place this, and I'm gonna win, and the game is finished. I need to output here I'm gonna modify this function, and I'm gonna return a -1 for draw. I'm gonna define those. So define draw to -1, define x wins to, and actually I'm gonna just return the character who won, and this will return 0 if no one has won. So if the board is, so if has empty cell, will equal -1. So if has empty cell, then I'm gonna return 0, or else, oh, actually not. I can still return has empty cell, but has empty cell will have values, the values -1 or 0. So I still have return has empty cell, and if all those are equal, I'm gonna return board of I and 0. Here I'm gonna return board of 0 and y and I.
You added 2 semicolons on line 45.
Thanks. Return, and 2 returns here. Return board of 0 and 0, and here we'll return board of 2 and 0. And now I'm gonna save the state of is game running in char state. Char state equals is game running, and if state equals -1, then I'll output draw. Else I'll output cout state has won. All right. And now we have a player versus player tic-tac-toe. And if is game running equals 0. So I'm gonna place the x, I'm gonna place the 0 here, I'm gonna place x here, 0 here, and X has won. So these things works correctly, and I'm gonna take a break and take some questions.
Mihai asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how complex is this code?
On a scale from 1 to 10, how
Yes.
complex this code is? For me?
I think it depends on the reference point though, because it could have been much cleaner if we used classes.
You don't need classes for this.
You could.
It just messes up with the code. There's no justification to use classes for this because it's a small project.
I would have.
You would have, but if you're using classes for this project, you end up with a huge code. You end up writing 20 lines more, and it doesn't
Yeah, it's
make
a
sense.
trade-off. I mean, for me, it's more important to be clear and to have more code.
The classes don't always bring more cleanness to the code.
Yeah,
But this code is, let's say it's from a scale from 1 to 10 is at 4 maybe? Yeah, it's a 4.
I'd say 6.
I'd say 4.
No, we can refactor. We can definitely refactor and put it into some more functions.
Let's not over design the node. Please
Okay.
focus. If you're asking questions, we are good at coding. We worked for Google, for Facebook, and for other big companies. You can focus on asking better questions.
No, this is a good question, I think.
And
Sorry.
while it's not useful,
If I'm in the live, I'm gonna complain. You know?
it's not useful. You're complaining, but the question is not useful. Let's say the code is a 10. How does it help him? How does it help him to know what, on a
Just
scale from 1 to
just
10?
Curious, it's fine.
So please ask questions that are useful. Don't just ask, okay, what's from 1 to 10 something, because it doesn't help you. You can ask where can I learn this stuff from, or how would you improve your code, or any other more useful questions.
That I agree with.
I suppose that you're here because you want to learn how to write code. You want to learn how to write good code, not how to learn code, because there are a lot of other YouTubers who can teach you how to write code, which is not always the most clean one. So use the questions wisely. In your opinion, you should start a podcast. Thanks. Also, don't forget to thumbs up the video if you like me arguing with Bianca. Bianca, it's a very fun thing about Bianca, and she does it really well on some aspects of WellCode. She likes over designing things. She likes taking care of every small detail. So whenever you are reading posts on Facebook, you are reading most of the time, not always.
Not all of them are mine.
Yeah. You're reading something over designed by Bianca, and it works really well for social media. But a lot of times the purpose of code is to get things done, is to launch your app, is to release it to the users, and there will be always the trade-off between how clean it is, how well will you be able to refactor it into something more complex. If you want to create a more complex app, let's say you are creating a social network. But you always need to keep in mind the primary purpose of your project. So always keep that in mind.
Yeah, someone said for the board that's getting output is wrong.
Is it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's wrong because on the last move I'm outputting the last player position. I can change that and putting here. Thanks a lot for the how to say completion for the comment. So, and is game running equals 0. I need to move this function. And now the board printed will be correct. Is game running. Let's see. Any other questions?
Yeah, there was one more question. It's about Unity. Do I need to know many algorithms to start with Unity? It's just a framework. You can play with it. But
the question about Unity. Oh, I haven't shared my screen. You didn't see the correction I made. And then I'll answer the question about Unity. So I added here another condition. I moved the isGameRunning function before printBoard, so I can call isGameRunning from printBoard. So I want to print the current player only when the game is not finished. That was the competition. About Unity, First of all, I haven't worked with Unity. I'm focused more on web development and creating WellCode awesome, but you always need the basics. So I recommend that you will I recommend that you finish the courses on WellCode, because those will cover up the basics. Most of the time you need recursion, and this is covered in the advanced module, and I think in most of the video games you have some sort of recursion going on there, and it's very useful for you. And also you will need to work with strings, with arrays of text, and this is also covered in the advanced module. So if you're a Romanian, you need to finish that one as well. Don't get fooled by the name. It's not only for people who are having their graduation exam, the BAC, it's for everyone.
Okay, when you were at internships, did you see at web development teams that Laravel framework was used?
Okay, this is not the topic of the video, so please okay, stay on topic. And no, people at Google don't use PHP.
Is Python good for AI? I mean, it has some libraries.
Is Python good for AI? I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. It's I think nowadays you have support for AI in most of the languages. You just need to search for the libraries. You need to keep something in mind, and I'm gonna create. Actually, I'm gonna film a video about this later today, and I'm not gonna answer the question. But keep an eye on our YouTube channel, because it will be a very good video, and it will also look good because here in Cluj there's a lot of snow. Okay, any important questions which are on topic?
Some questions about macro.
It's not on
it's
topic.
Not on topic. Please keep your questions on.
Please keep your questions on topic. It's not about the laptop you're using, it's about how good you are at programming. Okay, and now what we're gonna do, am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I'm sharing my screen, yeah. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna design the AI. Let's change one letter from here and start a new board. We were gonna think about the AI. So, because the board is only 3 by 3, so it only has 9 cells. 9 cells. The amount of possibilities is very low. So every cell can be a dot, can be a 0, or an X, and the amount of possibilities for the boards is 3 to the power of 9, because each cell can have one of those 3 values. And if we are computing this, 3 to the power of 9, we'll get almost 20,000 possible boards. 20k possible boards, which is a very small number. So what does this mean? This means that whenever you are this means that whenever you are computing whenever you're trying to make a decision, you can look in the future. You can become a fortune teller. So let's say I'm on the empty board. I can think about all the possibilities. I can think, well, what happens if I'm putting the X in the top left corner? What happens if I'm putting the X in the middle column of the first row? And I can do all those possibilities because I have enough space for doing that. I can store all the possible boards, and this will hold true for any kind of board. Let's say the best move for me was to put the X here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna think, well, what possibilities does the 0 have? So I have an X here, and I can think, oh, what happens if I put the 0 here? Then what happens if I'm gonna create a smaller board here. what happens if I'm putting the 0 here. And I can do all the possible movements, and then I can choose the best one for me. So whenever I'm looking at all the moves, I'm gonna look in the future at the future moves, and I'm gonna say for each board who wins, because for a board which is completed, I already know who wins. So if I have this board, I already know that X has won. If I have 0, 0, and 0. So I can compute those. And based on the movement of the other player, I can know for sure what he can do. I'm gonna take another example so you can understand this better. Let's think about this board, this situation. I have a 0 here, and I have an X here, and the 0 here. If I'm able to reach this state, if I'm able to reach this state, I already know that I won. So what I'm trying to reach is a state where I know that I have already won. And I can compute all the possible states and know for sure who wins. And for doing this, I'm going to store those boards. I'm going to use a map. Basically, a map works like an array, but it can have all sorts of indexes. So I will do map from string to char, who wins. And I'm gonna compute all the possible boards, and whenever I reach a state that is not running anymore, I can save it. And I'm gonna use strings as indexes. So if I have this board, let's say 0, 0, dot, I can't use a matrix here, so I'm gonna transform this in a one-dimensional array. So first of all, I have row 1, row 2, and row 3, and this will become xxx 0, 0, point, and point. Can you bring me a water, please, from the upper floor? And basically, I know that who wins. I know that who wins of this string. I know that before starting the game, I'll say pre-compute who wins. And I'm gonna start with the basic state. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna have this function saying thank you.
Apparently, at some points, the sound stopped working.
The sound stopped working?
But it's okay now, I'm not sure when.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed the Siri.
Oh, okay.
Pre-compute who wins. And I'm gonna take here the string linear board. And first of all, I want to know if I already computed this, and if whowins.find linear board is different than then who wins dot end. Then I'm going to return who wins of linear board. The sound will go off because my voice will go off. And if not, I want to know who's the current player. So current player equals get current, sorry, here's pre-compute who wins. Sorry for the bad naming. Get current player of linear board. And in order to do this, I just need to, and actually I have one more condition, but I won't jump from one place to another. So I'll be char get current player and string linear board and num x's, which is 0, num 0, which will be 0 for auto, because we have C++ 14 right now, and I can do for auto char, no, not char, for auto C on linear board. If C equals x, then if C equals second player plus num 0. So if
apparently the sound is off.
It will get it will work.
Was activated.
I think it works now. It should work now. Flip again? No?
Okay, no. Okay.
Okay, no.
Stop pressing that button.
Okay, I'll be more careful. So, if the number of x's is greater than the number of zeros, here's the sensitive area. I'm so sorry that you can't see this. I'm very careful about the place where I'm putting my fingers on. So if num(x) is greater than the number of 0, then I return a 0, and else I return an x. Sorry, I return second player. Second player and first player. Okay, so I have the current player, but before that, if char state equals is game running, and this is game running will receive this has to receive a board, but I'm just going to use the global board. So the first 3 characters, actually I need to convert linear board to board linear board. So I have another function, void linear board to board, and the same thing again for int I equals 0. Basically I'm converting the linear board to the regular one, because it's easier to work with it as a matrix. So I is smaller than 3 plus I for int j equals 0, j smaller than 3 plus j, and board of I and j equals I times 3 plus j. Sorry, this is wrong. String linear board, it's linear board of this thing. So basically what this formula does is it for each cell computes the number. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And by using this formula, I'm basically mapping each position of the matrix to the position of the linear board. Okay, so linear board to board. So first of all, I want to check if the game is running. So if state is different than 0, which means the game is not running anymore, then who_wins of linear board equals state, and I also return the state. This function will return who_wins. Okay, now I know the current player, and I wanna move him to every possible position. So what I need to do is for int I equals 0, I is smaller than linear board size, which is 9, plus I, if linear board of I equals empty cell, then I'll say linear board of I equals current player, then I'm gonna call pre-compute who_wins, pre-compute to who_wins of linear board, and then I'm gonna reset the linear board of I to empty cell. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm taking every free position. Where's the board? Here. I'm taking every free position and I'm trying to put to make the player move there, and then I'm gonna look for who_wins. Char next win equals pre-compute who_wins, and I want to take the move that yields the best result. So first of all, I have char best result will be the opposite of the current player. Current player. Actually, I'm gonna do a little mapping here. Char other player of 128, and I'm gonna do here other player of x of first player equals second player, and other player of second player equals first player. And I'm gonna finish this thing soon. So best result equals other player of current player. So first of all, I want to see if next win equals current player, then this is the best move to do. So this means that I can win this. So best result equals current player. Otherwise, if next win equals, did I define a draw? Yeah, if it equals draw, and best result equals other player, best result equals other player of current player. So if we are still losing, then best result equals draw. And now I know for each possible board, after ending this for loop, I'm gonna say that who_wins of the linear board equals best result, and I'm gonna return best result. And right now I can say for every I can say for every possible position, I can say who wins. Let's say see out who wins of the empty board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see if I did this code correctly. Bit succeeded. X. Yeah, and this is correct, because if you are the first player to begin, your optimal move is in the center of the board, I think. Let's say X moves badly. X places the first move on the upper left corner, and this should be a draw. No, actually it's not a draw. What are the bad moves for X? Will this be a draw? 0.
0 means draw?
No. 0 means, I don't know.
Why is it 0?
Oh, actually 0 means that 0 means wins for this.
Does it?
Okay. I'm gonna also save the best move. Best move. Actually, this will be a different map. This will be map from string to string will be best move. So now I'm gonna see what's the best move for every non-finished state. So this will mean that best move of, wait, I lost the linear board. String best current move. Best current move equals linear board best current move equals linear board. I have an error here and I don't know why. Oh, I don't have any error anymore. It went away. So best move of linear board equals best current move. So who wins for this state, and also best move of this state. So if I'm placing the 0 on the X on the first line, it says that the best move is to put an X in the end, and this doesn't look right. It should have been a 0. So the current player, this is weird. Here we should have a 0 here. I can't have 2 X's on the board. So current player is get current player, and I wanna do all the possible moves for him. Sorry. Yeah, so I know who wins. And the current player. Let's say if linear board equals, I just want to check this one.
So you're printing the bug messages?
Yeah. If linear board equals this, I want to see who the current player is. It's 0. Okay, this is fine, but then I want to see for every position so if this is true, then I want to see, before making this back to empty cell, I want to also see the linear board, and I want to also see the best result, the best current move, sorry. Best current move. Let's see. So, oh, this is wrong because because the board changes here. But actually I can move this right here. And well, I'll print the same thing, but I can see the best current move. And I can see that it tests with 0, but I don't know why it also tests with x's.
Maybe you're switching the players.
Best current move. Current player. Where am I looking for current player? So, current player, linear board of I equals current player pre-compute who wins. Probably this is a problem about recursion. Because I'm calling here pre-compute who wins. Best result. However, I'm working with local variables, so this shouldn't be a problem. Current player, other player of current player. I'm not changing it anywhere. Best result, best current result, best current move. Why does it change? If you're seeing the problem, please let me know in the comments. The same thing is true. The same thing is true. So you'll win a 1-week free of charge subscription to our premium course. And please, Bianca, don't distract me with Facebook. I'm trying to focus as good as possible.
What's the best result? You can explain that for me.
Yeah, the best result means who is winning. What's the best result I can get? This will be either this can be x0 or -1. And the best
-1 because it's the character.
Well, the characters are still numbers,
oh,
so
okay,
they can hold -1. You see, I didn't put ticks here. So I'm looking here for the place where the current player switches from 0 to x, because always the best current move gets initialized to linear board, and linear board shouldn't change. I can do another debug statement here. So if linear board is this, cout current player, and let's see if this changes anything. So as you can see, the current player has changed. So I will search for all the places I'm using current player.
But you're calling the function recursively.
Yeah, I'm calling the function oh yeah, sorry. Char current player. I need to have a local variable for the current player, because I'm calling the function recursively. I suspected this, but in my head I was always thinking that this is a local variable, but it was not. It was a global variable, and it changed that value at the calls. And now things should look good. And now the best move for 0 is to move in the first cell. And now I'm getting a draw. Can you please bring me warm water? Thanks.
Sure. That'll be a nice assistant.
So for this thing, the best move for 0 is to move in the first position. If I'm putting an X on the first place, then I think it's still a draw. And the best move for 0 is to place himself in the middle of the board. And now if I'm placing the X in the middle of the board, X should win. Actually, it says that it's still a draw. This is weird. Let's see if... So this, I know for sure that for this move, X should win. Yes, so for this move, X wins. But I don't have a best move, and this is strange. Oh, I know why I had the draw back then, because this is how the board should look like. I didn't place the X in the center. Now the X is in center, and I think if you're placing the X in the center, X will win always. Or I coded something wrong. Let's do something easier. So we have 2 zeros on the first line, 2 X's on the second line, and X is on the move. Yeah, and X is winning. All right. Looks close enough. I still suspect that I have some bugs. But let's see how this game works. So if the current player is actually the first player will always be X, and the second player will always be 0. So after I do this, I wanna get the next move. Bianca, please close the Facebook. I'm not able to focus. Or turn your screen away from me. So right now I wanna check the best move. So the linear board, I wanna get a string linear board equals board to linear board of... Actually, I don't need this because I don't need to put a parameter here because I already have the board. So I have string as a global variable, string linear board, and I'm just gonna iterate through the board, and I'm gonna say linear board plus equals board of I and j, and then return linear board. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say linear board to board of what was the name? Best move. Yeah, best move of linear board. And basically, now what I'm doing here is I'm applying the save state for the best move. I'm applying it on top of the board. I'm changing basically the board. So let's see how this works out. So I can move my X. What? Oh, yeah. So whenever I'm not inside, whenever I'm not placing something, I'm calling this code. So this is wrong. I only need to call this code when I'm I only need to call this code when I'm placing something. If I'm not placing anything, I don't need to place the 0. I don't want to place the 0. Oh, okay. So, okay, stop. Okay, let's see how this works. Let's see if I can beat the AI. I'm placing the X. Oh, but now I don't want to switch the current player. As you can see, the current player is now a 0, but because I'm playing against the AI, I don't want to change the current player anymore. So this was another mistake. Let's see right now. Also, if you joined the video only now, don't forget to thumbs up. Okay, let's place the X here. 0 is placed in the top left corner. I want to place an X here, and the 0 blocked me correctly. And now I'm going to place an X, and the 0 is here. And what I need to do is, my only option actually is to place here, and then the 0 got placed here, and it's a draw. What?
You probably outputted the stay. No.
The game's not finished.
Yeah.
Oh, because it tries to complete the. It tries to do another move here, I think. And I want to do the next move if is game running, then I want to break. I want to break from this while loop. Yeah, that was the problem. So I'm gonna place here the X. The 0 gets in my way as always, and I hate this game because I'm placing it and it's a draw. So apparently I'm not able to beat this AI. I'm gonna share the code with you, and I'm very curious if you can beat it. If you can beat this AI, put the share your way of playing. I'm gonna share the code with you, and let me know in the comments if you wanna see me how I can allow the player to choose. Actually, I'll allow you to choose the current player. I won't ask you. Who's Nightbot?
Nightbot is a bot.
Oh, we can have a bot.
Yeah, Paul edited. Don Paul edited.
You have a question, Bianca.
No, it's not for me. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, Bianca just got a proposal.
Cool.
For those of you who are not speaking Romanian. Okay, so the last part is choosing your current player. So, yeah. Cout. Choose. Is it with double O? Choose?
Yeah.
Your current player. I won't do any validations checking if the current player is X or 0.
But you can modify the code and share it with us.
0. Yeah, you can modify the code and add all the validations. So I'm just gonna sing current player. No, actually I have to need player. What's an appropriate name? So I need user player.
Oh, because the current player,
yeah. User player, and what I'm gonna do here, I need to change this. So, while is game running, if current player equals user player, then I'm gonna read commands. if I'm reading commands, if the current player equals user player, I'm gonna delete this, and else I'm gonna say linear board equals this, and I'm gonna print the board, and if I'm placing here something, then I'm gonna say current player equals other player of current player. And I think this should be it. So first of all, I get the option to choose my current player, and I'm gonna choose 0.
You already
and the computer played against himself, and it was a draw. You saw how fast my AI is? Now let's find the bug, because we don't want to leave the computer here just playing with itself. It's boring.
See what happens when you let the AI.
you let AI take over the world and starts playing with himself. So if current player equals user player, then I'm gonna take a command. Oh, and here, the problem was that I didn't update the current player. Actually, this update
is not working.
It needs to be also for the computer.
Right, because otherwise the computer is always at move.
Yeah. So I want to choose the 0, and now let's play bad. Let's play very bad. I think if I'm placing.
Did the computer start?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
What?
The computer played bad. Let's see if I can get a draw. Oh, no, actually it was the right move.
Yeah, it was a diagonal.
Yeah, he doesn't think as we think.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's not yet a he.
Yeah, it's not yet a he. Let's try again. What happens if I'm placing the 0 here? Place. Oh, okay. Now I have only one option. I'm placing it here. It's a draw.
Again. Yeah, you can't really beat if you implemented it right.
So he can't beat me if he's with X.
No, if you implemented
because he was with X. I want to check if my AI is right. So, does X in Tic Tac Toe always win? How to win a tac toe?
We'll always tie.
Where do you see that?
There, we'll always tie. In the third row of the.
Where? Tie?
Always tie.
No, 2 players who follow the right strategy will always tie.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I thought.
so my AI is correct. I'm gonna
maybe.
I'm gonna share the code with you. If you find any mistakes, please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious about that. I don't know what the code will be for the next week. Actually, here I should have put copyright on WellCode, but yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Apparently, I have a phone number to call.
Okay, so thanks a lot for watching.
Yeah.
We share the code with you. Please don't create cyborgs who will take over the world.
And if you make any improvements to the code, post it in the comments. We'll be posting this video in the
it will be saved on YouTube
on the channel, so you can comment.
Yeah. I thought that I will be able to do this in half an hour, but it turned out that it was 1 hour and a half. So main points that you need to learn from this video is, first of all, write clean code. Use suggestive variable names. Make your variable names as clear as possible, because you don't want to end up with a messy code, and you don't want to end up looking over your code 1 year from now and not understand it. Secondly, learn how to find your bugs. Use print statements. Use print statements. Use your brain. Think logically about every line of your code, and also try to write code as fast as me and with less bugs than I do. I think I have a good ratio of bugs because the code was complex and I only introduced a few of those. I will improve because if I'm gonna do these live streams weekly, I'm gonna become a way better programmer just because I'm doing live streams.
And also, it's very difficult to code while you're talking out loud, so you can practice that also and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because it's a very good practice for interviews.
Yeah, this is the best practice you can do for interviews. I hope you'll start doing the same things that I do, and I have competition.
You can post the link to your live coding channel in the comments.
Yeah, in the comments in the Facebook groups. I think the bot is sharing the Facebook group links, so don't forget to join those. I won't be taking any more questions because I'm very tired. I talked for 1.5 hours continuously. I say thanks to everyone. I was about to say that I started taking English classes and I'm talking way better in English, but I'm not able to find my words anymore because I'm tired. Do you want to add anything else?
No, I just just post the other comments in the group and on Instagram.
Yeah, post the comments wherever you want. I'm gonna answer them. And also, Josip is asking me about replies for one-on-one tutoring. As we announced on Instagram, we're gonna do some paid one-on-one tutoring, and the registration period just ended. I'm gonna take a break now. I'm gonna film 2 more videos if I'm not too tired, and perhaps after that I'm gonna reply to the emails. I won't promise that I'll do that today, but it will be in the following days. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Bianca for assisting me. You were very, very helpful. Thumbs up for Bianca.
Thank you. I promise I'll be less distracted next time.
Yeah. So thumbs up for Bianca. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we're gonna do more live streams. There will be a live stream next week. I don't know what will be about. Probably I'll do some JavaScript. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, JavaScript will be nice after all this console programming.
Yeah, it will be on the Christmas. No, it will be on the day before the Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So guys.
Also, we're gonna do a giveaway. Should we tell them that they're on?
No, don't tell them about. No. Sorry. So we're ending this live video. Forget what you heard from Bianca, but keep an eye on our YouTube channel because there will be a secret coming up. Thanks a lot everyone for watching. I'm so happy that I finished coding. Yeah. I'm so tired. And I wish you all the best. I hope your cyborgs will conquer the world. I hope you'll become a billionaire. And I hope you'll live a very happy and peaceful life afterwards.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.